Welcome back to the Usable Marketing Podcast. I'm Ginger Zumeda. So I'm actually talking right now. It's 6:20 in the morning. I'm in a parking structure in Burbank, on my way to Denver just for the day to do some meetings with clients. But it's all about execution today. What I wanted to talk about is, yesterday I just wrapped up my Masterclass. I launched a Masterclass a month ago. It was super intense. 3 90-minute sessions per week, plus an extra day of Q&A. There was so much that we got to cover together. I had a really great group of students from every conceivable business. Really big government-facing aviation business, manufacturing, real estate, coaching, nonprofit. It was just really all over the board, and we were going over the fundamentals of the marketing canvas that you've heard me talking about multiple times. But I wanted to share a little bit about kind of the flow of the marketing canvas and what I discovered. And also what the students discovered as I was going through it. So when you're marketing something, right? And I've preached this constantly. First, you have to get your strategy right. Then you have to get execution. And so for the first, almost 2.5 weeks of a 4-week program, almost 3 weeks, actually, we spent 3 weeks on strategy and 1 week on starting to build the execution plan. And so what I noticed about the students that did the program is that when we were doing strategy, everybody was super fired up. They're setting the vision. They're trying to figure out how they're going to serve their customers, their customer heroes. And people were just getting so fired up and excited and new ideas. And these are the things I can do. And here's my value proposition, et cetera, et cetera. And then we hit execution time. And I noticed folks and started hearing the word overwhelmed. And that sort of gave me it made me start to think about, this dichotomy between strategy and execution. I focus on strategy a lot because you have to get the strategy right before you start execution. But once folks started trying to put together their execution plans, I started to hear the word, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. And so I wanted to talk about that. And what I was kind of recommending to them is crunch down all of the things that you have to do. If you're running a marketing campaign, the reality is that you should be working every aspect of your sales funnel, right? You've got to make people aware of your product. You got to get them to a point where they have not only considered, but they prefer your choice over everybody else's choice. Then you actually need to do the work of converting and activating them. Then you've got to onboard them so that they're completely loyal and then try to get referrals out of them. When you start looking at all the work that has to be done all across the funnel, it can feel like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. And so I tell people, you really need to focus on one little piece of your funnel to start, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Right, so here's the thing that I wanted to talk about: execution. In reality, there are probably 100 different things that you could do to market your business, yourself, whatever it is that you have, more effectively. We all do at all times. There's always things that we can do. What I want to encourage you to do is take a look at what is the result. What really needs to happen first. For a lot of folks, they need to make more people, they just simply need to make more people aware that they exist, the right target. They need to make more people aware that they exist and start pulling them into their orbit. If you need to get more people at the top of the funnel, and almost everybody does, focus on that first. Take one action. Right? So, you've heard the phrase, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time, right? So what I'm encouraging folks to do, if you have a ton of things, first look at the result that you need. Look at the value chain that leads up to that result. Where in the funnel do you most need to kind of do a diagnostic and get some action? And then just do one thing. In fact, what I'm going to encourage them to do, I'm going to share this with them, but I'm going to encourage you to do as well, is look at your results that you have to produce and what's just one tiny action that you could take today, not tomorrow, not put it on a to-do list, but an action that you could do today, a tiny action. Because what I'll tell you is these tiny actions, they add up. And what gets people to the success zone is not always doing these massive leaps. It's doing tiny steps every single day consistently until they've covered a lot of ground. I mean, that's basically the way it is. We joked yesterday. I'm like, if someone said, hey, Ginger, why don't you go out and run a marathon? I would never put my shoes on to go out and do that. I just wouldn't. But if it's like, hey, put your tent, I live on a big hill. And if someone said, hey, put your shoes on and get to the bottom of the hill and then get back up, okay, I can do that. You do that a couple of times and guess what? You have a marathon behind you. And so today's thing is just take one tiny action towards your result. Make sure you have your strategy right. Make sure you understand your hero. Never forget the strategy. But strategy without execution is worth absolutely zero. So take some action. Get yourself into motion and get in the habit of being in motion. So, hey, guys, first of all, thank you. For the folks that were in the masterclass, thank you. It was so awesome. I mean, it was just, it was amazing to see folks kind of transform their thinking over 4 weeks and start to put their action plans together. And I am going to be doing it again in September. So it's the heads up now. Get on the waiting list. It's going to be limited. We like to keep it small because it's very intimate. I'm literally working with folks one-on-one practically. And so if you're interested, go to tmcmastery.com, the marketing canvas mastery, tmcmastery.com, and get on the waiting list just so you can kind of be, get early notice before we kind of talk about it publicly. You'll get the invitation first. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's actually going to include an entire full year of support. I'm super, super excited about it. But that's it for today. Go take an action, and I will catch you next time.